Disappearance of Kiplyn Davis. Kiplyn Davis, July 1, 1979, disappeared May 2, 1995, was an American 15-year-old student who disappeared from her high school campus in Spanish Fork, Utah. She is a featured child on the Polly Klaus Foundation. In 2011, a classmate was sentenced to 15 years on manslaughter charges against Davis, but refused to name his alleged accomplices or indicate where Davis's remains were supposedly concealed. Disappearance. Davis, a sophomore, was last seen at Spanish Fork High School in Spanish Fork, Utah. That morning she had had a fight with both of her parents, then attended her early driver's education class, her morning classes, and was seen at lunchtime in the school's cafeteria with her friends and classmates. She did not show up for her 4th and 5th period classes. However, one close friend said he spoke with her between 4th and 5th period, but later changed his story. All of her personal belongings, including her purse, makeup, dental retainer and school books, were left in her locker at school, and she never returned home for the day. It has been testified that she told friends that she would not be attending activities planned that evening, and in fact, had mentioned it would be better if she ran away. She was reported missing when she failed to arrive home at 1700 hours, when she was always home by 1530. After months passed without Davis's return or any clues as to her whereabouts, police began to suspect foul play in her disappearance. Although she had a fight with her parents the day of her disappearance and mentioned running away, her family believes she was murdered. After her disappearance, there were rumors that her body was buried in a local canyon, a train tunnel, under a building, and various other locations, but her remains were never found. 4 years after her disappearance, her family held a memorial service for Davis and put up a marker in her name at the Spanish Fork City Cemetery. Investigation. In 2003, U.S. Attorney Paul Warner revived the probe into Davis's death. Timmy Brent Olson and Christopher Neil Jepson had been charged with her murder. On May 6, 2009, the Utah State prosecutors dropped the murder charges against Christopher Neil Jepson. In court, he pled no contest to obstruction-related charges and ultimately signed an affidavit that he does not know the circumstances or cause of Kiplyn Davis's disappearance. Rucker Leifson pleaded guilty to 1 count of lying to a grand jury and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Gary Blackmore and Scott Brunson have also been found guilty of lying to a grand jury. Their sentences hinge upon their testimony against Olson. On June 1, 2009, news of a decision by the judge on a motion to dismiss the murder charge against Olson was announced. The judge decided to defer any ruling on the motion in the case, stating he had not heard all the evidence from the prosecutors. An evidentiary hearing to establish whether there is evidence of death is still possible. On February 11, 2011, Timmy Brent Olson pleaded guilty to manslaughter and was sentenced to 15 years in prison. He claimed he saw another individual hit Davis in the head with a rock and helped him move her body, but declined to name the other individual. Although he admitted that he helped move and bury the body, he refuses to tell authorities where the body is located. Olson and Leifson had come under suspicion after claiming they left school with Davis on the day she disappeared. So, what's your theory on what happened? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please